So somebody that you care about could actually benefit from you sharing a similar experience that you've gone through. And you could be used to dealing with people who, okay, say they tell you that they're going through something and you try to empathize with them or relate with them about that thing and they're like, "Oh, why do you always have to make everything about yourself?" Or you know what I mean? Just that sort of energy to where they're like, "Oh, well, this isn't even about you, so why are you telling me this?" And so you could have been, I don't want to say scarred, but just in some way impacted from those experiences to where you were hesitant to you're overly cautious in regards to asking or offering advice or just some form of support, I guess, when it isn't explicitly asked for. But this is different. So this is your confirmation for that, obviously. But somebody's going through something and you have gone through something similar in the past, maybe multiple times. Um, and this person that you care about, it's like everybody that they are around or grew up with, they process this sort of event, and it could be something kind of traumatic or whatever, a certain way. Um, right? But this person needs to process this traumatic event the way that you know how to process it, if that makes sense. It's giving somebody who's used to being around or they were raised to just laugh stuff off regardless, but maybe they need to actually feel like it's safe for them to go through all of the emotions involved, but they've never learned to do that. For some reason or another. And you could have been in the past called oh, you're too sensitive for X, Y, and Z, but I feel like the way that you process your emotions allowed you to actually heal from things instead of just repressing them, right? And it's something about you needing to, it does, it's even through just sharing, you know the you know I don't know, certain details about the fact that you've gone through a similar experience will allow them to not feel alone. And also I think that you being a little vulnerable about this thing will allow them to feel like it's safe for them also to feel vulnerable about this and not disparage themselves for having certain emotions at all. Some people feel like they're not allowed to be sad or they're not allowed to be angry and they have to just be happy all the time. Like some people are really raised like that, and that's okay, but that's not necessarily healthy. They should be allowed to process things. Okay? So it's something about, you know, even just you sharing your experience will allow them to not feel alone, because I'm getting that they may be used to being around people who don't even share those things. They don't talk about stuff that they gone through the past. That's just something you just, again, I don't know, just wash aside or whatever and just never bring up, even if it would help to comfort somebody else in the moment, right? And I'm getting that the way that you feel compelled to comfort this person is exactly what they need, okay? And again, you could have been criticized in some way for your attempts at comforting somebody in a similar situation in the past, but it's different now. Because this could be a new connection. It's obviously not, it's not somebody toxic from the past or just people that you're supposed to distance yourself from. This is somebody who has pure intentions for you and you have pure intentions for them, and you're a match in some way, whether that's you guys are a match in friendship or romantically or whatever, okay? It's just that you guys are, okay, this you and this person are kindred spirits in some way. So the logistics of the connection is sort of irrelevant. It's just the fact that you and this person are kindred spirits, okay? And it's almost like you feel compelled to comfort them the way you would need to be comforted in a similar situation. And I'm getting that you probably also in the past had to learn how to process this thing because nobody was helping you in the way that you needed. Not that it's anybody's job necessarily, but obviously that's the whole point of community or whatever, or it's normal to have or require a support system, especially when you go through things that are extremely painful, okay? You know, and you know there are different things that are unavoidable forms of trauma that everybody go through, such as things in regards to mortality, like a pet passing away, or like a loved one or something like that. um or just going through some sort of trouble or trial. I'm getting that while you were in the midst of a certain experience, it could have felt devastating and you always question, why do I have to go through this, why is this happening to me? this could even have to do with like your own child or something too, right? Um, but it's sort of like you will see the value in having that experience because it is allowing you to help somebody who maybe would have otherwise been unable to like cope with the situation properly, I guess. Um, it's sort of like it gives some meaning to a suffering that you experienced in the past because you are able to genuinely help and bring comfort to somebody who you actually love and care about and who loves and cares about you in return. Um, you know, like you are not helpless to help. You are not like helpless in regards to like providing support to this person. You are well equipped to do so. Um, and then so that's like, you know, a way that you can alchemize that past experience that you had, you can reframe it in your mind of like, you know what, that really sucked and it was painful, but I'm glad that it happened a long time ago and that I processed it already so that I'm able to help this person through it too, because that's what you should want to do. So like take your experiences in order to help other people so that they don't need to spiral maybe as low as you spiraled when it happened to you, right? It's like you can save them some trouble by helping them to like heal from things, right? It's not about like bypassing any form of healing. It could just like sort of allow them to embrace the healing process instead of like feeling the need to repress or suppress it, or like even I would say um I don't know. I just know that like healing can feel uncomfortable because you have to you go through like any array of emotions, and sometimes people try to dictate what that's supposed to look like for one person versus another, right? Like if you go through something really painful, again, like if someone like that you love passes away or something like that, you are supposed to allow yourself to grieve however you need to grieve. And some people can like be overly critical about how a person is like handling their grieving process, but you have to just allow yourself to feel any emotion, regardless of how uncomfortable it is. And no emotion is like embarrassing, right? And obviously, like, seek actual professional help if you need to, okay? But there's like the sense of like, you being open with somebody about what you've been through, after they sort of open up to you or whatever, is going to allow them to feel like it is okay for them to feel vulnerable at this time, and it's okay for them to not be cheerful all the time, and like it's okay for them to just again, to not have to feel like they have to put on a brave strong front, regardless of what's happening. It's almost giving the sense of like somebody say if this person's like house burnt down, they would feel like they weren't even allowed to cry about it. um and like you being in this person's life is teaching them and showing them that their emotions aren't something to fear or like push away, even if it's hard for them to like articulate how they feel sometimes. It's like you're showing them that they don't have to, at least with you, have such a strong like shell on the outside veiling how they actually feel on the inside, and that you're not going to think less of them for how they express their emotions. Like this is somebody who could be a masculine, like super hyper masculine person who feels like if they show any sign of weakness that like people will like take advantage of it, or you would like respect them less, or that people would respect them less. And maybe people have treated like them like that in the past, but it's giving that through you showing them that you still respect them, you still like view them as powerful and capable or whatever, regardless of like um if they need to cry, um is healing to them. And it's also showing them who they actually need to be close to them, right? And maybe if their circle shrinks down to where they have to start over and it's just the two of you, and then they like find more people that they can feel safe to be themselves with, um, that's okay. But it's just like you're helping them sort of see how they deserve to be treated and how they like deserve to treat themselves, through like hardship and things like that. And so they're actually going to be able to heal in more areas of their life. Like it's going to have a ripple effect that's going to benefit them in multiple areas of their life to where they don't have to like fake happiness and fake contentment. Okay.